What's going on, hunters, and welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter Rise. Today we're going to be talking about 5 tips that are going to drastically improve your experience in Monster Hunter Rise. We're going to be going over the 5 different things that you maybe didn't know, and now that you do, you're going to have a much better time in Monster Hunter Rise, whether it be slaying monsters, gathering, or just having more knowledge for things that the game doesn't inherently tell you. The game's not extremely complicated, but there are a lot of systems and mechanics that they just don't share with you throughout the immense amount of tips and tricks that are within the game. And you may have just breezed over a few of them, and that is okay. So let's go ahead and get into Monster Hunter Rise, and let's talk about the 5 important things that are just going to make your experience better in the game. Alright, now that we're in Monster Hunter Rise, let's talk about the first tip. So if you are struggling to collect all the materials for that snazzy armor or that really cool weapon that you want to create, no problem, we got you. We're going to go into an area that you may or may not have even looked at, or you might have breezed over. So the first thing I want you guys to do is go ahead and hit start. When you guys are in here, the next thing I want you guys to do is come over to your hunter notes and then go into large monsters, assuming that you are hunting one of the large monsters, okay? Now, let's say that I am trying to collect all the materials for the Kuluyaku, okay? What I want you guys to do is go ahead and hit R and go ahead and go all the way over to materials. When we're here in materials, let's say I know for a fact that I need a beak, okay? So if we come and we click down and I say, okay, I need the beak. Now, the thing to note here is 80% of the time, if we look over to over there. So if we look over to the left, we know 80% of the time we're going to get a drop rate of 80% on the head. Now, if I come and I say, okay, I need the plume, I know that on its body, it'll drop 18% of the time, and on its foreleg, 80% of the time. So this is just a really good tool to go in with a plan when you are trying to get specific armor or specific weapons to a specific monster. Alright, so then that leads me into tip number 2. In this same section, so in your hunter notes section, tip number 2 is going to be talking about how to plan out just defeating the monster. So let's say you need to go in and you need to defeat, let's call it a Tetradon, right? The next thing I want you guys to do is, again, use your hunter notes to your advantage. If you come over to physiology, in the physiology section, this is going to determine the monster's weakness. So we know that we can go and plan out the elemental weakness. So if we look, we see, okay, I know in its head, it is weak against electricity, a 30%, right? I know that if I use the hammer, it's going to do 70, right? So you're able to see on exactly which part of its body is weak to A, what type of weapon, and then B, what type of elemental damage. So you can go in and thoroughly plan out your monster hunts before you even go on them. I know I'm about to go after this boy's neck, and I'm going to take the electricity with me, and 20% of the time, yo, he going to get wrecked. This is a really good thing to know. All right, let's head into tip number 3. Alright, so let's talk about tip number 3. So especially early on in the game, during your first, call it 30 hours, armor spheres of all kinds, as well as just specific items, can be kind of hard to come by, and so is Zenny. Now, there is one way to cheese the system, and to do that, I have this exploit in the top video and in the pinned comment, so click that if you want to go find out. But the way to do it in-game and naturally is an easy thing, but you might forget exactly doing this. So you want to make sure that you go set this. So tip number 3 is going to be doing all of your optional side quests. So we're going to go ahead and hit to Steelworks, and we're going to go ahead here and we're going to talk to Hina here. So go ahead and hit up the Quest Maiden and go ahead and go to your optional subquests. Now, the optional subquests are really cool, and if you pay attention to them, they are actually going to net you a bunch of items, including armor spheres, Chimera points, and all kinds of other stuff. So if we look right now, I currently have 2 of them selected. So I have the Gathering of Bones, which is something you're going to do naturally when you're playing anyways, and I have the quest for the Sandy Plains. Now, if I want to go and say, let's see, I need another armor sphere here, slay 14 small monsters. So I can go ahead and click that. Then we look at, oh, get endemic life, hunt one large monster. I know I'm about to do that like next, so go ahead and click that. And then we look at gathering insects. Of course, I'm gonna gather insects, no problem. So this one here, you can literally just set it and forget it. You can do up to 5, and they're gonna automatically give you all these things once it's complete. So after it's complete, you come back, talk to her, and she'll give you your rewards like armor spheres and things like that. Don't forget. You gotta be doing this all the time. Make sure that you set it, forget it, and then come back and do it again. Alright guys, so now we're into tip number 4. So tip number 4 is going to be able to find the materials and items that you need within a map when you're just trying to collect them for a variety of different things you need, whether it be armor or whether it be weapons. And this is something that is a very useful tool that you may not have even looked at before. So currently right now, what I want you guys to do is come over into your quest area here, come into your detailed map. As you guys see right now, we're in the Shrine Ruins. When you're in the Shrine Ruins, guys, you guys can see that you can push L or R and you get different variety of different icons on the actual map. So what I want you guys to do is, let's say there's something specifically you're searching for. So let's say you want to say, okay, I need to go and get a specific ore, or I need to look for specific mushrooms. Maybe you have a quest for it, or maybe you're just trying to collect it on the side for something else. Well, when you're in this menu here, if you guys click the X button, whether you're on your Joy-Con or on your Pro Controller, you can come into the secondary menu, and then you can see, okay, I personally am looking for mushroom colonies. So when I look for mushroom colonies, it tells me exactly where they are and where I can go. So I know now I can head to section 4, section 8, section 7, and I'm going to be able to find the mushroom colonies. This is extremely useful to go in and be able to pin down exactly what you want. This is going to work the same for endemic life. This is going to work for different buffs that you can find. So if you go into this section, again, you're going to hit that X button and just kind of come over and say, okay, I need god bugs. You know what I mean? I need the shoot patches. You know, I need jewel lilies. Whatever it is, it'll show you on the map once you've explored the map. This is extremely useful and very helpful, and I hope it helps you too. Alright guys, so then that leads me into tip number 5, is finding out when your monster is weak. So if you guys look at the top left, or the top right, I'm sorry, of the screen, you guys see a blue icon there. So I'm currently in the midst of this fight, and I just took it down. If you ever need an indicator on when to fight the monster and when it's about to go down, whether you can put a trap, a pitfall trap, or a electric trap, then you can see that by that blue icon at the top right of the screen, right below your lock on to that monster. The moment that you see that, that means that you guys are good to defeat and or capture the monster, whatever you want to do. And that, guys, has been the 5 very useful tips that's going to help you during your monster hunting in Monster Hunter Rise. I hope you guys found this video very useful and helpful. If it did, make sure you guys subscribe and make sure you guys like and show your support. And if you guys could, click the videos on the screen right now, because that's what YouTube says that's best for you. And because it's there, that means it must be. Guys, happy hunting. Peace.